Hello guys, welcome back to VC Tech. In today's tutorial, we are going to configure OSPF and then move on to a basic firewall configuration on a Cisco ASA firewall. Before a firewall can inspect or permit traffic, the devices on both sides of the network must first know how to reach each other. And that is why we are going to begin by configuring OSPF to establish routing between the routers and the firewall. Once routing is working correctly, we are going to configure a simple firewall policy that permits traffic between the inside and the outside network. This will help us understand the order in which network engineers typically deploy routing and security. The first thing we need is connectivity. At the moment, our routers currently know only about their directly connected networks. To allow them discover remote network automatically, we have to configure OSPF on the firewall and also on the router. Before we configure OSPF, let's first troubleshoot to see what routes the firewall and also the router knows. So from the firewall, we are just going to do show routes. At the moment, you can see we only have two routes, and those routes are directly connected to our firewall, which is the inside and the outside interface. On this other router, it is only going to have the IP address of this interface and this interface that is directly connected to that router. So if we check, so go to CLI, configure terminal, then you say do show IP route. You can also see that this router has only two networks, which is the 10.10.10.0 and 128.16.0.0. Means this router does not know how to get to this firewall, and the firewall as well does not know how to get to that router. Now let's configure a routing protocol to enable the router and the firewall know how to get to each other. So we'll start from the firewall, router OSPF. With a process ID of 10 and a router ID of 1.1.1.1. The networks are 203.0.1.0 with a subnet mask of 255.255.0 area 0. And the second network is 192.168.1.0, the subnet mask of 255.255.0 area 0. Now we are done configuring the routing protocol on the firewall, so we can verify that configuration. First, as you can see, the firewall has now formed adjacency to this router, which has the router ID of 1.1.1.2. Now let's verify the connectivity. So we say do show, or we say show route. Previously, when we checked the route that we have, we only had two networks, and those networks are directly connected to our firewall, which are the inside and the outside network. However, now we know how to get to the outside network, which is this network over here, from the firewall. So from the firewall, we have 128.16.0.0. So with the help of OSPF, we are able to get to that network. I'm going to do the same on the both routers. So from this router, I'm going to be very fast. I've already done this video before, so if you don't know how to configure a routing protocol, an OSPF routing protocol, I suggest you watch the previous video. The router OSPF, I'm going to be very fast here. Now let's also check from this router. You can also see that this router has formed neighbor adjacency to this router over here. Let's also see do show IP route. You can also see that this router also knows how to get to this 192.168.1.0 network. Notice how the routes are being learned dynamically. This confirms that routing between networks are working correctly. Now let's head over to the firewall configuration. For the demonstration, we are going to configure a very basic firewall policy. The objective isn't to build a secure production firewall. Instead, it is to understand how firewall rules are created and how they affect traffic flow. We are going to create an ACL, or an access control list, that permits IP traffic from the outside network to the inside network. Our rule will simply permit all IP traffic so that we can observe communication between both networks. After creating the ACL, we are going to apply that ACL to an interface. Now let's head over and start that configuration so you see what I'm talking about. So first we create the access control list. Access list, you can query to see what is next. It is asking us for a word. Now we are going to give it a name. So this will be outside, inside. You can call this whatever you want. Outside, inside, and our ACL is an extended ACL. We want to permit ICMP traffic to any destination and any host. This access control list simply means that any IP address from the outside network that wants to access any IP address from the inside network, the firewall should permit that traffic. Now we are done creating the ACL rule. The next is to apply that ACL rule to an interface. Without applying this to an interface, our access control list is not going to work. So we can also check without applying. So let's ping from this device over here. Let's head to this device and try to ping one of the devices from the inside network. This device has 1.5, so let's ping from this device. So 1.5. If we try to ping, this is not going to work because we've not applied the ACL that we created to an interface. And remember, a firewall on default blocks traffic coming from the outside to the inside network because the inside network has a security level of 100. So the firewall will always block that traffic unless we create an ACL and apply that ACL to an interface. So you can see that this device cannot ping any device inside the local area network or inside the inside network. Now let's go and apply that ACL that we created to an interface and see what happens. After we created the access list, we are going to apply that access list to an access group. So access group. Now the name, it is asking us for that word that we created while we were creating the ACL. So that word is outside in. Now, any traffic coming into the network, it should come through the interface of the outside. This line simply tells the firewall to use the outside in ACL, which is this ACL that we created, to inspect all inbound traffic that is entering the outside interface. So since we are using the permissive ACL, it is going to permit every traffic that is coming into the network. Now let's try to ping from the device that we used to ping previously and was unable to get to that device. So as you can see, we are able to ping that device because we just applied the ACL that we created to an interface, letting that interface know that whenever traffic is coming to that network, it should pass through the outside interface. And that's the end of our tutorial today. What we did is we first configured OSPF to establish routing across the network. Once routing was verified, we configured a basic firewall rule to permit all IP traffic between the outside and the inside network. In future tutorial, we are going to build on this foundation by replacing this permissive rule with more secure access control list. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.